Hey, I'm Scott, and I'm an American in Bangkok. I am in Bangkok, and guess what? I got a letter. This letter happens to be the same person from the Chowderhead 3 video. Chowderhead number 3 alert. And if you did not watch that, please do watch that video. But 39-year-old male, lived in Thailand for a while, went to the U.S. to work. This is a guy who he's had numerous issues with women. He had a Thai girlfriend and grew tired of her, broke up with her, found a new girl, went out to dinner with her, and apparently the old girlfriend followed him to the restaurant and did not take kindly to him dumping her. And she basically knocked out his date because she had some Muay Thai training, and she knocked out his date. His date stood up and started mouthing off back to her and didn't expect it, and she got pounded. I guess the girl got deported. If I remember correctly, the girl got deported. She was arrested and deported. That is one of the issues that this guy's had. But let me just get into this letter, because in Chowderhead number 3, he talked of a woman who basically, she's 23, and she lives at home with mommy and daddy. She doesn't work. She doesn't want to work. She's a homebody. And he met her about a year ago. Met her online. Has never met her in person. So, without further ado, hello, Scott. In my previous email to you, I told you about the 23-year-old woman who wanted to marry me. Wanted me to marry her after only knowing me online for a year. Now, this is about a month ago that his video was done. We have been talking up until recently, and I feel as though she's not giving me a choice in the matter. It's like she's giving me one option, and that is to marry her, and that's it. Well, you know, here's the thing. Whether she gives you one option or not, you have as many options as you want. You know. It's up to you to play the game properly. She keeps insisting I come and meet her parents. She says if I visit, she can't stay with me because this is not proper. She's not a virgin. She's had 3 sexual partners, so she claims. It's like she comes off to me as she thinks I only want sex from her, and the only way I can get it is if I marry her. She says she's never been with a foreigner, and the 3 partners she has had were Thai, and they used her. See, I'm not of the opinion that somebody gets used unless they want to be used, or they allow themselves to be used. Now, she's 23, and she's been talking to you for a year, so that would make her, like, a little more than a year, so that would make her about 22 when you met her. And she's had 3 partners. She's out there in the village, not doing anything. 3 partners is a lot. I mean, for 22, just staying out in the village. And she got used once, and yet she jumped right back in. Boom, she got used again. Boom, she got used again. So 3 times she got used. I understand the leeriness of her, especially with you. But I don't know. I'm not buying it. Let's see. I'm not hell-bent on getting her into bed. I just want to develop a normal relationship in steps. You know, dating, spending time together, knowing each other, and making sure we can get along before taking it to the next level. Well, see, her methodology and her idea of normal is quite a bit different than yours. And that's pretty obvious. I'm not in the rush to get married, and I don't understand why she is in so much of a rush and hasn't even met me in person. Well, doesn't that worry you a little bit? You haven't even met her, and she's already talking about, marriage, and yet she's been burned 3 times. Maybe she doesn't make the best decisions. I mean, who knows? Maybe you don't make the best decisions. Um, Sometimes I think it's her personality. She seems to enjoy staying home, taking care of house, cooking, cleaning, laundry, and the likes. That's all she does. She rarely goes out. Perfect for a guy who wants a housewife. I'm not desperate for love, especially in Southeast Asia where everything is for sale. Ugh. Everything's for sale. Oh, yeah. Listen, buddy, let me walk with you through a mall somewhere and walk up to a woman that you think is up for sale, and let's see how you do that, okay? It's going to cost you. Not like some little farm girl who wants to meet somebody online. I like her from what I know about her so far. I just don't know if I should cut her off or at least go meet her in person. Well, you already know what she wants. Now, you can look at it several different ways. This is my opinion, of course, and you do what you want to do. Because we know from experience that a lot of people, they want to know what I got to say, but once I say it, they don't want to do what I say. So, you're hearing me, but you're not exactly acting upon the advice. So, bottom line, if I were you, I'd flat out dump her because she's giving you an ultimatum. Here she is. She's never even met you. You've never even met her, and she's giving you an ultimatum to marry. I mean, think about that. You've never met her. You've never experienced the warmth of her touch or the glow of her smile and her looking you eye to eye in person. You don't know how she treats other people when you're not around. You only have an idea. And I mean, I know that, yes, she can be walking around on the phone with the little video thing going, and she's talking and laughing with her friends, and she seems like a sweetie pie. Okay? I dare say that you should experience her in person. And that way, you really get to know her. And I wouldn't capitulate to her marriage requests for at least a year, 2, 3. I mean, basically what you ought to do is you ought to tell her, hey, listen, I'm not, you just be honest. And I have a feeling you have been honest with her, but she doesn't want to hear you. So that's why she's giving you the ultimatum. And as far as the sex goes, you just go, listen, honey, you know what? I'm not of the belief that people have to wait to get married to have sex. Because what happens if you are not copacetic with one another? She doesn't fit the bill, or you don't fit the bill. Then what? Then you're going to be like, well, she's my wife. You don't get to try the car out before you buy it. I mean, so this one to me is kind of a no-brainer. First of all, she's giving you an ultimatum. Second of all, she's young, and she's already had several partners, which, 3 is not all that many, but for a girl living in a village who really, and she's living with her parents, I don't know, it just seems like she hasn't been very lucky in love. And maybe the reason that she hasn't been very lucky is because she doesn't want to do anything. She wants to stay home and cook and clean. And sometimes nowadays you need more than one income. But, the bottom line is this. You haven't even met her, and she's already talking about marriage. I mean, yeah, granted, you've been talking to her for a year. But I look at it like this. If you are still interested in each other after a year, that's great. But everything until then, if you got other women on the side back home or in some other country that you're going and visiting, let's say Mexico, you go there once every 3 months, and you got a little señorita there, and you're going to check her out. You're trying, you're just like you're putting your feelers out there. You're You know, you're having a little fun until you meet the one. Nothing wrong with that. And the same with her. She's sitting in the village there, and, she decides on a Friday night to go out somewhere, and, the guy that she's been friends with for years is in the karaoke, and, she has a couple of drinks with her girlfriends, and then she's like, hey, he is pretty cute. Next thing you know, she's got a little thing going on the side. All that is really irrelevant, because to me it seems a bit far-fetched to think that your boyfriend and girlfriend, because you're talking to each other online. I mean, and for that reason, I call you a chowderhead. Now, I don't think that you are a full-on chowderhead where you're in such a situation where you're going to get burned because you're aware of what's going on. So, credit to you for that. But the bottom line is that you already know the deal. You already know that she's going to pressure you. And if you're not ready, that pressure is all it's going to do is get worse. Now if you say to her, honey, it ain't going to happen. We need time. We need to know each other in person. And if you think I'm going to wait to have sex until we get married, you got another thing coming. And she doesn't like that. You just go, well, maybe I'm not the guy for you. That's all. It shouldn't be a big deal. It shouldn't be something, overly dramatic and upsetting to either of you. You haven't even met each other in person. Listen, I want to give a big shout out to all my Patreon patrons and my the VIP members to my website, and to those who follow me on my streams, especially guys like Fidelity Quester, Beyond Trinity, Mr. Billy, and there's a long list, so please don't feel slighted if I didn't mention your name. At some point you'll be mentioned. But if you're a Patreon patron or a member of my the VIP section of my website, or you've made contributions in any way, whether it's comments, financial, or otherwise, thank you very much. I've got to say, appreciate it, because you are the ones who help me to continue this channel. Until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok di la jerken mai.